Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Esther and this is Esther Spills. Thank you so much for joining me today. For you all my wonderful subscribers, I really love you all so much, and I thank you so much for always checking out my videos and for your wonderful comments, and for some of you who reach me out on Instagram or by email. I thank you so much for always taking our time to leave your comments and feedbacks in each of these various social media channels. For the new subscribers, my name is Esther. I'm a one-time MEG scholar currently living in Japan, and from time to time I make videos about scholarship opportunities for candidates from Africa and in fact from all over the world who are interested in studying in Japan as well as in other parts of the world. I've made videos about MEG scholarships, about the World Bank scholarships, and also about scholarships attainable in other parts of the world, like the Erasmus Mundus, like the which other one, like the scholarship in Malaysia and other parts of the world. But today we have a brand new scholarship. So that means we are going straight to Korea. Yes, so today I'm going to introduce to you a new scholarship. It is the Global Korea Scholarships. And before we go into that, please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel, okay? Feel free to share the content of these videos with your friends, with your neighbors, acquaintances, your enemies, anybody, okay, who you think needs to watch this video. All right, let's set the ball rolling and go straight into our scholarship for today. So today I'll be introducing the Global Korea Scholarship. Let's talk a little bit about this scholarship. So actually the aim of the Global Korea Scholarship is to provide candidates with opportunities to advance their studies in Korea in order to promote international exchanges in education as well as mutual friendships with these countries. They have quite a number of scholarships there in the Republic of Korea, but for this particular one, this Global Korea Scholarships, they have about 220 undergraduate scholarships as well as about 1,080 graduate scholarships. These numbers are subject to change, but let's just have that in mind as we go into the application procedure. Now, speaking about this scholarship, remember it's going to be held in Korea, and that means the Korean language is really important. And one of the prerequisites for applying for this scholarship is that they want candidates who are applying to be prepared to undergo intensive training in the language, which is Korean language. So in as much as these courses are going to be held in English, it is also required of a candidate applying to be willing to undergo this intensive language program in the Korean language. However, for those who already have some kind of knowledge of Korean language, then they're going to be exempted from that. But of course, you need to give proof of your proficiency in Korean language. We'll get into that later. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you find the content interesting, which I'm sure you do. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to dwell mostly on the postgraduate scholarships, I mean for master's or doctorate degree. Okay, now what is the application procedure? Please listen carefully because the procedure here is quite different from other scholarships. Okay, it's not just about going to the website and applying. Please really listen because I'm going to take my time to explain the different steps you must follow while applying for this scholarship. The process is you have to contact the Embassy of Korea in your home countries to find out the requirements for you to apply for the scholarship. But essentially they'll ask you to submit your results, your transcripts, your perhaps like a motivation letter, recommendation letter or something, just normal application package. So you have all that, you submit it to the Embassy of Korea in your home countries, telling them that you're interested in this scholarship, which is the Global Korea Scholarship. So the NIIED, which is the National Institute for International Education in Korea, it's like an arm or a branch of the Ministry of Education of Korea, and they are in charge of funding the scholarships by this Korean government. Will contact the Embassy of Korea, the embassies of Korea in different parts of the world, as well as the different universities in Korea to find out potential candidates who qualify for this scholarship. Okay, now because you have submitted your application at the Embassy of Korea in your home countries, the embassy, if they deem you qualified, they're going to recommend you to the NIIED. Okay, so that's the first step. So once that is done, the NIIED would go through another form of selection. Okay, they're going to run through the applications, they're going to screen one more time to see what students really deserve this scholarship. Okay, at the end of this screening process, okay, the NIIED would send back a list of qualified candidates to the embassies of Korea in different countries, as well as to these various choice universities. All right, so when the NIIED sends this list back to the embassies of Korea, let's assume you managed to be among the selected candidates, then the embassy will send you an email notifying you of your qualification for this scholarship. Okay, they might ask you to bring some additional documents, maybe your passport, copies of your passport, and other traveling documents. Okay, so that shows that you've been selected. At least at this point, you know that you have been selected. I am hoping this makes sense. All right, so I know the process for this one is quite different from other scholarships we've been applying for. Don't forget to like if you're enjoying this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and please share with your friends. Okay, all right, so now we have established how we can go about application for this scholarship. Now let's see what are the requirements for applying for this Global Korea Scholarship. So speaking about your eligibility criteria, okay, the first requirement is that candidates applying as well as their parents must not be nationals of the Republic of Korea. So you shouldn't be a Korean while applying for this scholarship. A second requirement is almost similar to the first requirement. So applicants should not hold Korean citizenship. Okay, so let's say you were not born Korean and you're married to a Korean, that disqualifies you. Okay, so once you have Korean citizenship, you are not allowed to apply for this scholarship. The third requirement is candidates must be physically and mentally fit to stay for a long time in a foreign country like Korea. So you have to be okay physically and mentally. Now, a fourth requirement is if you're applying for the undergraduate scholarships, you should be 25 years and below. And if you're coming for the graduate scholarships, then you should be at most 40 years. So 40 years and below. Okay. The fifth requirement is you must have finished formal education. You should have finished your elementary education, secondary or high school education if you're coming for undergraduate program. And if you're coming for a graduate program, of course, you should already have finished your undergraduate degree programs as at the time you're applying for this scholarship. A sixth requirement for you to apply for this program is you must have attained a grade point average of 80% from your last institution you graduated from. Okay, so your GPA should be at least 80%. So a seventh requirement, which is similar to either the fourth or the fifth I mentioned before, is that if you're coming for a graduate degree program, you should already have your bachelor's degree certificate on hand on arrival in Korea. An eighth requirement is if you have had any form of formal education in Korea, let's say high school or bachelor's degree in Korea, then you are not qualified to apply. Please, the program is essentially for international students. However, there's a little exception. If you are a former or current Korean government scholarship program awardee, so if you have topic level 5 or grade 5 and above, plus 90% grade point average in your university there in Korea, then they might let you apply being an international student. All right, so do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you find the video interesting so far. So we've just mentioned the application procedure, and we've also mentioned the eligibility requirements. Now let's talk about the part that we all love, the benefits of applying for the Global Korean Scholarships. I always love this part of the video. So first of all, you have your airfare paid completely. So the Korean government will pay your complete airfare to and from Korea. Full, the exact amount will be paid for you. Okay, and then the second benefit is you're going to be paid a resettlement allowance of 200,000 Korean won. Wow, that's a lot of money just for resettlement. Oh my god, I am pressured. I want to apply too. Then a third benefit is you're going to be paid living allowance of about 900,000 Korean won. So between 900,000 to 1 million Korean won will be paid to you as your living allowance. So calculate that. You have a living allowance, you have a resettlement allowance, plus your airfare. and more. So you also have your medical insurance covered by the Korean government. So you'll be paid 20,000 Korean won for your medical insurance per month. So every month you'll be getting 20,000 for medical insurance. How nice. Another benefit is you're going to be paid for your language courses. So the Korean government, remember, it's mandatory for you to undergo a 1 year intensive language training in the language, right? Korean language. So to that end, the government is also paying per quarter for your language classes. So you're studying the language for free. So for your Korean language classes, the government will be paying you 800,000 Korean won per quarter. Okay, so per quarter, so like we have how many quarters in a year? 3 or 4, I don't know, do the maths. Okay, so for each quarter of the year, the government will pay you 800,000 Korean won for your language training. How nice. Another beautiful benefit is your tuition fees will be paid in full by the Korean government. 5 million Korean won per semester will be paid by the government. This is a very wonderful opportunity, guys. Do not let it slip by. So the next benefit is award for excellent Korean language proficiency. Okay, so if you come with a very high score in the Korean language proficiency exams, the government is going to pay you 100,000 Korean won just for the fact that you're already proficient in the language of the country. That is wonderful. So the next benefit is for research support. Okay, so the Korean government is paying between 210 to 240,000 Korean won per semester for your research. That's wonderful. Remember, tuition fees paid, living allowance paid, resettlement allowance paid, air fees check, and still you're going to be paid for your research. That's really magnanimous of the Korean government. And after your research support, the government would also pay you some kind of stipends for your printing costs. Let's say you're through with your program, you've done your research, and it's about that time when you have to do your dissertation and all that. So the cost for printing, the government is paying you. And guess how much? The Korean government is paying you 500,000 Korean won just for printing. Wow. Did I say 500,000? No. The government is going to pay between 500,000 to 800,000 Korean won just for printing. Guys, this is huge. The final benefit you get at the end of your program, just for finishing the program to the end, just for studying, doing your research, and completing your program and graduating, the government of Korea is paying you some money called completion grants. For completing, someone should pay me money for grant. Someone should pay me money. So they're paying you 100,000 Korean won for completing your program. Oh shit. Let's go to Korea. Let's go to Korea. Wow. Okay, so that is that. I know I've said so many things. We've talked about the application procedure, we've talked about the eligibility requirements, and we've also talked about the benefits of gaining the Global Korea Scholarship. This scholarship is sponsored by the government of the Republic of Korea. So it's strictly taken over by the government in collaboration with the NIIED, which is the National Institute for International Education of the Republic of Korea. So I know I've said so many things. I would advise you to watch this video one more time, okay, so you can take note of the information, the things you need to do, or the steps for applying for this program. Again, do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to leave a link once more for you to confirm all what I've said, the link to the Government of Korea Scholarship page, so you can check it out and see how to go about applying for this. Okay, now yes, that reminds me, there is a question: when is the deadline to apply? Okay, this scholarship opportunity, the window is open now. It began from March and it's going to end in April. I think the deadline is April 20th 2022, either April 20th or April 29th. So guys, this is really so nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have said a whole lot of things, and yeah, I'm sure I didn't miss anything out, but if you think I missed something out, you can check, okay? on the link to the website. Okay, thank you so much for always tuning in. Thank you for your support, thank you for your likes and for your generous subscriptions and sharings with your friend. I really appreciate you all. And again, like I always mention, if you have suggestions to make the videos better or to make the channel better, okay, please do not hesitate to leave your suggestions in the comment box below. Okay, if you have questions, please leave your questions in the comment section. And if you just want to reach out to me more outside here on YouTube, you can reach me on my Instagram page, Esther_Spills. Or if you want to write me an email, please feel free to do so, estherspills@gmail.com. Okay, so that is that for this video. Thank you so much. And like I always say, please be nice, be kind, and be happy like me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until my next video, it's your girl Esther saying goodbye. Ciao, ciao.